Are you using financial focus to supersize and grow your business? Most business people I talk to on a daily basis and work with are paying attention to their numbers, their finances, their profit, their loss, their expenses, their income, their sales, all kinds of key performance indicators. But are you reviewing and actually making decisions based on those numbers, or are you just collecting them? I know in the past I have been guilty of just collecting the information and not actually using it for decision making. We're going to talk about that this month as we focus on the financial area and aspect of our businesses and our life. For Supersize Your Business, we'll focus on the business finances. For the Be a Better You annual challenge, we're going to focus on our personal situation, our personal finances, our personal goals and objectives with respect to that. So we're going to start off first and foremost by creating and or reviewing, if you've already created it, what is your business's definition of financial health and well-being? How financially healthy is your business right now? Be honest. You're not going to tell anybody. Just be honest with yourself. If you're struggling with your expenses, or if you're struggling with generating income and leads, be honest with yourself, because the only way we can fix that is if we pay attention to it, right? If we actually observe and are honest with ourselves and we notice it and we say, oh, I could really use 10% more sales, or I could really use 100% more sales, or I could really cut down on these unnecessary expenses because they're just eating into our profitability. So today we are going to define and use some bullet points or key performance indicators, whatever works for you, to say, this is what financial wealth and health and well-being looks like for my business. And over the course of this month, we're going to focus on finances and financial health and well-being, because nobody wants to be unhealthy financially in their business or in their life. We're going to focus on that every single day this month with different topics. But we have to start out by deciding, okay, well, what does it mean to us? Is it a certain level of security or amount of dollars in your business checking account or in your business savings account? I always had a ceiling that I had to have at least $20,000 in my checking account at all times. I would never, ever go below that. To me, $20,000 was zero. Why? Because that was my personal safety net for if something were to happen and come up in my business. And I do that with each and every one of my businesses today still. If something were to come up, 20K will pretty much cover it, or at least get me the down payment on whatever it is while I find the way to cover it in another way. I hope that makes sense. But we each have that level of comfort that we want to make sure that we're having. And if you don't, I'm going to highly recommend you do. Another little trick I used to do, and I don't even remember who I learned it from. It was so long ago. I always used to carry, and I don't anymore. Once I had teenagers, it was impossible to keep, but I always had 3 crisp $100 bills in my wallet. I always had them in my wallet in case anything were to come up. Why? Because I always figured, I don't know why or how I came up with this, that wherever I was, whatever happened, I could probably get home if I had $300, right? No matter where I was, I could probably find my way home for $300. Now, I don't know, with Uber and how expensive things are nowadays, maybe that's not realistic, but I don't go anywhere like that. So I don't worry about it. It's not even a concern of mine anymore. But like I said, once I had teenagers, that money was always in and out, in and out, in and out. It's kind of funny. All right, so what are we doing today? We are defining financial health and well-being for our company. Is it a certain level of gross sales? Is it a certain level of profitability? I always like to look at profit after everything. Taxes, interest, everything. I don't care about all those middle numbers unless there's a situation or a problem and we're not meeting our bottom line number. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at it. But this is the amount of profitability I want to have. And it's slightly different for each of the different businesses I'm involved in and for my personal life. But we all have that comfort level. Then probably during this month, we're going to try to stretch that comfort level and increase that. Why? Because we always want to be supersizing and growing our business. And to supersize and grow our business, first we have to supersize and grow our thinking and our belief. All right. If I can help you in any way, coming up with a definition for financial health and well-being for your business, just ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.